typically it takes some businesses years before they actually begin to turn a profit, right? And that's not what anybody wants to hear when they're getting in business, right? Like, because there's things, unless you have a clear line of vision, right, to how you're going to be successful, knowing the financial resources that it's going to take, right, which kind of brings me to the next point of a small business mindset. Because now, considering that if you're going to scale that business, which is to grow that business, if you're going to go from 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 20, you need to have a reverse engineering mindset. What is a reverse engineering mindset? There was one of the Hall of Fame player. His name is Aeneas Williams, one of the best cornerbacks, obviously, ever to play the game. Played for the Cardinals, played for the Rams. Good friend of mine. Awesome man of God, too. When he gave his Hall of Fame speech, he talked about one of the figures in his life. And he said, Aeneas, you need to begin with the end in mind. So the small business approach, because we all got our 24 hours a day, you need to begin with the end in mind. If you can strategically consider how much money it's going to take, who are the people that are going to be involved? Who are the key stakeholders? You and who else? And everybody has a different business. That means there's different business models, right? But who are the people involved? What are my skill sets? There's something that's called a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You need to be able to understand what that is so that you could properly assess and strategically lay a vision for what it's going to take for that business, not just to put it in operation, but also to become profitable. Let me tell you where disappointment comes in the entire human experience. It's basically, we all face disappointments when we have expectations that are not met. I'm gonna give you a Selah. Every time that we have, so because we expect to be successful, but if we haven't properly planned for that kind of success, we just get in the game, and next thing you know, you take these lumps. This is why we do the process, the pain points, because everybody's on a journey, right? The journey and the end goal is the success that you define, right? The success that you define, which is why we must have clear goals and objectives, right? This is so powerful. So the first part of our mindset is we need to have patience. You need to have patience with yourself, patience with your staff, because if you have staff, that means you have to equip them with the tools necessary to do their job. You can't be a dynamic business owner if you're not equipping your team with the resources that they need to do their job. So some of us might not be great development people. You might be really strong operational, but you might not be a good trainer of people. So who's going to come in and train the staff, right? You need to have, and if that's going to cost you something, if you don't have somebody within your personal wheelhouse, you need to have the money allocated for that, right? The next thing you need is a winning mindset, right? Listen, I say LOL, right? Lessons over losses. Lessons over losses. LOL. I don't lose. I'm like DJ Khaled. I don't lose. All I do is win, right? Like, I don't lose. Now, I have suffered financial losses, but those were the stripes and the lessons that are going to bring me to my next moment. You think I'm just a teacher and not the student? I'm out here getting it. That's for my boy David Caldwell, OG, out here getting it. That's because I've entered a new arena that I wasn't, even if I had the skill sets, I didn't have the experience as a small business owner when I launched in 2020. I never planned on being a full-time entrepreneur. That was the cards God gave me, right? So, and these are the things that we don't always necessarily think through, which is why DT3 can help you get you where you got to go. I'm like MLK. I've been a part of a winning team and a culture and I've seen a dynamic coach humble himself and become a listener to get the buy-in. Oh man, I know exactly what it takes to be immensely successful in business in the marketplace. At the time, I didn't have all the tools. I didn't have all the time. And we're getting all of this stuff back, which is why I'm giving you these gems, right? So you need to have a winning mindset, lessons over losses, right? And you have to have extreme focus. You have to know yourself, of course, but you have to know what that vision is, right? Because there's going to be so many distractions. There's going to be so many impediments and obstacles that can bring discouragement, right? And if you're not locked in and understanding that all these things are producing, right? It's not just the mindset, it's producing what's necessary from a character perspective to cause your business to be successful, right? To cause your business to be successful. So first is advice, I'll give you advice. Now we talk about mindset. So you gotta have, like, you can't be so narrow and tunnel vision where you don't understand the things that are outside of your peripheral.